Well, good morning. So Votizen is the way to authentically connect with your elected officials and empower you to be a more engaged citizen. Now, our system takes your online identity and connects it with your real-world voter identity. And this allows you to connect with your elected officials directly using Facebook, Twitter, even text messaging, even if you don't know them by name. Our system collects the messages, combines them with other voters who share your views, and then hand delivers them to Capitol Hill on your behalf. And the most important thing is that each message is backed by the real-world power of your vote. Now, our team is with Jason Patorti, who is the lead designer of Mint.com, Matt Snyder, who is the first engineer at Mint.com, and myself, I was the co-founder of USA.gov, which is the official website and search engine of the United States government. Now, social media is changing our world in profound ways. From the Obama campaign to Egypt to right here in Austin, people are using these tools to disrupt a $10 billion political market that is in desperate need of disruption. And I'm proud to say that it's not just talk. The Start a Visa campaign used Votizen's tools to help promote legislation that just today was reintroduced into the 112th Congress, just today. Now, this is a bill that went from idea to legislation with no professional lobbyists, no campaign contributions, no incivility, no politics as usual. Just tens of thousands of people who believed that there was a better way and wanted to prove it. So, for us, we think this is the future of civic participation. This is the way that we are going to embrace the challenges that face us. This is the way that we are going to make a better future. And at Votizen, we just want to speed that along. Woohoo! Thanks.
Well, obviously very enthusiastic and very passionate about this realm. Now, you were behind USA.gov. What's been your other involvement in politics to get you so riled up about this?
Well, fundamentally, I'm a startup guy. Actually, I'm really big in the lean startup movement and had the opportunity to speak at Eric Ries's conference yesterday. But politics is my passion. And so to be able to combine those two together is just fantastic. In 1995, I created a website that was cited by the Wall Street Journal as one of the best political websites in the state for campaign finance disclosure. This was California, which was really easy because all you need to do is know HTML in 95 and put something up and they're like, wow, it's the best, there's nothing else. But then USA.gov in 2000, I had my own application service provider in 2003. There was a complete creator where I really embraced the lean startup movement and used it to power some of our principles in Votizen. Yeah.
How do you make money?
Please. So our business model is focused on message delivery. So anybody can use the model to be able to send messages for free, but then we have a per message charge for special delivery. And that means we'll charge or send it at a particular time, bundle it on special paper, special logos, wrap it in whatever other language the advocate wants to do it in, and deliver it for you or deliver it to you to deliver to Congress. And the key here, and this was really good insight for us because we've been doing this for 2 years, and this is the model that really broke through and allows us to make money today. It's simple. People can actually engage and pay on a per message basis. So they don't pay if it's not a registered voter, they don't pay if it's not on their issue, they don't pay if we don't deliver it, they only pay for the immediate action that gets delivered. And this allows people to say, okay, I'll try out this Twitter thing. And we become part of the campaigns of existing advocacy groups.
So what, just to clarify something, what's the difference between the free in this case or the paid? I mean, does the free get there in a week and the paid gets there like in 2 minutes?
Sure. So anybody can use the system today, and it'll get delivered on a regular basis. And it depends, but it's at least twice a month we do the delivery. If you have a particular issue, let's say it's Start a Visa, we call all the messages that come out of the Start a Visa campaign, bundle them together, separate from our general delivery, and print them on nicer paper and do other things that can then be delivered separately. And that's the per message charge.
And how much
so think of the difference between USPS and FedEx.
And what do you charge per message?
It goes at $1 per message to start and scales down to 5 cents depending on volume.
Because so all those So all of those posters that I'm seeing around Austin, Startup Visa that you can text, that's a campaign run on your
Yes,
platform?
you can text Congress, and I encourage everyone to do it. You can do it right here, right now, if you support the movement.
Support Startup Visa.
We're proud to support. I mean, of course, we support any cause. We don't tie ourselves to any one particular issue or agenda. But yes, we're very proud to help support that. And it's the first known example of legislation introduced into the Senate purely from social lobbying, tweets and Facebook
So then
posts.
doing a campaign like that, they would pay for?
Yes, they would pay for each individual message, although we have other customers as well. And they tend to be the long tail of politics, not big issues like healthcare reform or abortion or the contentious issues, but small issues like hydraulic fracking and cabin fees and other really small things that allow you to become a lobbyist without having to spend $50,000 a month for a pro. And they can have an impact because these issues are so discrete that people can gather together. In the case of the cabin fee, there are 5,000 members of this organization where they were going to change the fee structure for people that owned cabins on national forest land. And they used our system to be able to have an impact and get co-sponsors to be able to change that. And 1,000 people out of 5,000 signed up. 20% of the entire group signed up using our service because it meant something to them and they could do something about it.
Have you thought about applying this to state politics and local politics and school
Yes.
boards and all of those?
Oh, yes, yeah. I mean, that's where the real value is going to happen because the lower you move down the stack, the more impact each individual voice has. And so you have to start somewhere. And of course, we're starting at a congressional level because it spreads more easily and virally. And we do think on a congressional level, it will have an impact. You know, larger state senate, probably not quite as much. But when you move down the stack and there's a local development issue and somebody's putting in an adult bookstore behind the school, the public, things that are concerned with education, they are desperate for ways to get involved. And today, they go down to Kinko's, they print flyers, and they hand deliver them around the neighborhood. All you need is 20 people using a system like this, and I guarantee you they will hear you.
You were mentioning that it's tied to your voting record. What
Yes.
does that mean exactly?
So what we've actually done is, for us, the key is authenticity. You know, the irony is that although it's easier to make yourself heard, to speak, it's harder to actually be heard. So for us, it's not just giving them another method to get into the same, pile of noise. It's saying, no, here's a registered voter. They vote 90% of the time. They're a real person in the real world. There are 800 million pieces of communication delivered to Congress every year. Out of a nation of 300 million, only 185 to 200 million are registered to vote. So what does that tell you? What's the difference? What's the filter they are going to use to decide who should I listen to? Who should I prioritize? And in this case, because not only you have the voting history and the real world person, but it also gives them an opportunity to prioritize. Who are the people that are in my district? Who are the people that vote 90% of the time? We really want to prioritize that communication.
But where does that information come from? This is
from the voter rolls from each of the individual states, or in some cases counties, or in some cases municipalities. We spent the better part of a year building up these lists. We also have web interfaces that connect to web interfaces when we need to update data, and if necessary, we pick up the phone and call the voting registrar to validate somebody, because that authenticity it's everything to us.
Yeah, I tried to sign up. at
So
one
the
Yeah,
specific
she got
vote-
bounced, unfortunately,
point. I'm
because
Canadian.
yeah, but we'll expand to Canada, I promise. Democracy is a growth business.
Now, I was going to say, so the actual post a vote, what Don voted in the election is a matter of public record?
No, I'm sorry. Whether or not you voted in the election. So whether or not you voted, it's just yes or no. So nobody knows how you voted. It's just whether or not you voted. But obviously, if you vote more frequently, then in that particular, paradigm of the people that vote decide elections tend to carry more weight.
So during political campaigns, can the candidates also send messages in the other direction?
Yes,
To the
although
voters?
we're not waiting for them. We're scraping their actual public feeds where they have them and putting them back into each individual stream. So if you go to your officials page, not only will you be able to see what you said publicly, what all the other voters in your district said publicly, and also what your officials said publicly. Because our system doesn't want to depend on the system changing. I learned this at USA.gov. If you wait for the federal government to do something, you're going to be waiting a long time, right? It was the year 2000, and the federal government did not have a search engine. And that was just criminally negligible. right? And so we said, are we going to wait for them to do it? Or are we just going to do it? And we did it. Now, it took us 90 days to launch it, and it took us 2 years to give it away to them, which tells you a little bit about what you're facing. But eventually we were successful, and we intend to be successful here as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.